on Skip.
Woo!
All them years he was talking about you. You ain't run up on everybody else all that time he was talking about you. And you gonna run up on everybody that says Bronny James didn't deserve to be drafted where he was drafted at, you gonna have to do a whole lot of damn fighting.
What is up, world? Welcome back, Charge the Game podcast. In today's video, we're going to react to Ryan Clark calling out LeBron James. As you guys know, Ryan Clark is a first take analyst. He does a lot on sports networks for football, and he also has the popular podcast, The Pivot. Let's get into this, guys, and react. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's go.
I'm on Stephen A's side. You're a grown man. You're a professional athlete. You could be evaluated as a professional athlete. And I've said it, and I'll re-say it. Bronny James is not an NBA player. He's on that team because his father.
Very few people will keep it this honest and this legit real. Like, it's baffling to me that people feel the need to excuse the performance of Bronny James and want to make us view him the way that LeBron James views him. I think that is selfish on LeBron James's part. This Shannon guy here has a point. I mean, you have to be a man and stand your ground, and you just don't see that in today's media. They're going to clamor around LeBron James. Oh, the king spoke. The king said this and that. I mean, the amount of people that refer to another grown man as a king is ridiculous to me, especially those who have biblical beliefs. I will never bow down to another person like that, and I just don't understand why other men do. But let's get back to this video, guys. I don't want to ramble too much. Let's just get back to the video.
Two side of it is Stephen A has a job to do, right? He has to be honest. That's what he gets paid to do. In the same sentence, when you're a professional athlete, you have a job to do. Whether you do it on the highest level, you got to do it well, or maybe you don't do it as well as other guys in the arena. And criticism comes with it both ways. Stephen A gets critiqued on the job that he does, right? Some people are going to call him a coon if he doesn't agree with what's going on in the culture and
I want to pause it there because I feel like that's the problem with our culture. And when I say our culture, obviously I mean in the African American community. We can never just agree and shake hands and kumbaya in the end, right? If you go against someone, like, obviously I make content where it's not that I don't like LeBron James. I call out a lot of his shenanigans. That doesn't make me a person that hates black people. I mean, literally, last time I checked, I'm the same color. But it's crazy to me that the amount of people will turn on each other in this community just because of what we don't agree upon. I mean, you see it across sports, you see it in politics. It's like, why can't any individual be allowed, no matter what community or what aspects of life or origin they're from, why can't they be allowed to voice their opinion and respect that person still and agree to disagree? There's nothing wrong with having a disagreement or a difference in opinion and moving on about your life. But in the black community, like he just said, you're going to be called a coon and Uncle Tom. Oh, you're a sellout. If I like Caitlin Clark over Angel Reese, then, hey, apparently I'm a sellout because I like the better talent, because I see with my eyes that this person is better. In sports, it genuinely just should not matter. But, you know, in today's time, this is where we are.
a message to deliver, and if he's not delivering it appropriately or the right way or in an unbiased way, he's not going to get the payday that he just got. Like, he does his job damn well. And I think he's fair in a lot of instances. And with that, it's going to come fire.
Very fair, and very valid point. You saw the lucrative deal Stephen A. Smith got, $100 million plus, guys. I can't remember the exact fine numbers of everything, but when you see that it's working, you stick to it. And guess what? If LeBron James or any other great runs up on you here and there, I think it's all worth it. I'm not about to mess up my money to be accepted by any community or any person. So let's, and that's just that. So let's keep going.
How can you look at this professional athlete, which Bronny is? I see him sitting on the bench where he should be. Sorry, Bron, where he should be. And Stephen A is saying exactly what everybody thinks.
And there goes the problem. LeBron James knows that everybody is thinking this. He knows that Stephen A. Smith is being nothing but fair, nothing but honest, but he's going after the weakest link. Notice how all of these are football players, and what do football players have in common? It's no superstar led league in the NFL. It's not about just one person. You could be the most popular person on the team, but you literally need all 22 to be good at your job. And the NFL has not changed, right? It's still about the team, not about me. Whereas in the NBA, it's about one individual person, one person that can take over a franchise, in LeBron James's case, be the face of the organization. And this is why they are not holding back. Football players are more organic. They're more feisty. Obviously, it's much more of a gladiator sport. And they are mentally trained to not care who you are. I still got to do my job, which is why they have this feeling in support of Stephen A. Smith.
And that's why I think, honestly, like, that's my media career, saying, like, oh, Crowder gonna say what people ain't thinking about. I've heard.
Told you.
One thing I love about Ryan, he knows this, is that you're gonna say what you feel, and then if that human being walks up on you, you're going to justify it in a very articulate, fact-filled way. But Ronnie, you should not be in the NBA. He's not made like that. You're not your father.
Yo, I know LeBron James hates hearing this content. Here it goes, LeBron James. You're never going to be able to escape. I mean, this 1 year alone, it doesn't even matter to me, in my opinion, if Bronny chooses to continue to stay in the NBA. And if he gets slightly better, people are going to always not give him the respect simply because of, one, you forced him into the league. And now that people know that you're trying to pretty much debo people into changing their minds, it's not going to help Bronny James's case. None whatsoever.
And so I understand wanting to protect them. And Stephen A. said that wasn't LeBron James, the athlete. That was LeBron James, the father. But what I say there is you got to separate that, right? One of Pop's famous lines on Friday was, "No, baby, let him be a man." Bron got to let Bronny be a man. The first thing Jordan told me when he saw that, because we were together, he said, "Pop, I'd lose my shit." He said, if I did that, if someone was talking about him and I did what LeBron James did, he would lose it. He said, you got to let me be a man. And with Jordan in high school, I've done that with Jordan in college. And I'm not saying that he's where LeBron is, but LeBron did what he needed to do. But what about Bronny James?
Well, the difference between your son, your son, Ryan Clark, is a football player, which means that whatever program he's a part of, if he wants to get to the next level, he's going to know that he's going to have to be able to take criticism on a daily basis from his coach, assistant coaches, coordinators. I mean, the mentality of a football player's mindset is drastically different from a superstar diva's mindset in the NBA. I mean, he's a billionaire, and Bronny James has always had everything pretty much given to him. Like, we know realistically he's not an all-American all-star, right? We know realistically he would not have gone to USC. But that goes to show you, like, what you instill in your kids means everything. And we have to keep in mind that LeBron James' father was absent. So some of this, I kind of do have to give LeBron James grace on, because if you aren't wired that way, right? If you weren't brought up with certain, values or how to carry yourself, and I'm not discrediting LeBron James as a father. I think he's a phenomenal father, but there are some things that you may just not know how to go about, or certain ways you may not know how to maneuver through, because you just don't have that experience.
Think about what LeBron is saying, right? And I agree with this. Bronny James, for a 55th overall pick, for a guy who's played well in the G League and been on the bench and got, some minutes in the NBA, he is more negatively critiqued and analyzed than any player who would be picked in that position that does the job the way.
Can we be honest? Isn't it because LeBron James said that Bronny is better than, all of the current NBA players? He said that Bronny James could play on the Lakers roster right now. He also said that it's lightweight hilarious when he was laughing at other NBA players prior to Bronny James being drafted. I mean, can you blame everybody for going at Bronny? LeBron literally painted a target on his back.
So, praised more. He's also been drafted in a place that his resume probably didn't say he should have been drafted in. He's also benefited in NIL when he only averaged 4 points a game. He has marketing and commercials and publicity and following and get paid away from the court more than Mac McClung.
Bronny James averaged under 4 points in college and had $1 million gaming deal NIL money. He's a part of Nike brand. I mean, obviously his father rolled out the red carpet. But once you look at a guy like Dalton Connect, who plays literally on the same team, who they tried to, in my opinion, ship away because they know that most Laker fans or true basketball fans are going to say, why aren't you guys giving the light or shining the light on Dalton Connect? Think about how much more Bronny James gets attention versus people who've been in the league and have proven themselves 4 or 5 year veterans by now. And Bronny James gets more of that coverage. It's insane. It's insane. And anybody who's just going to continue to turn a cheek and say, oh, let him be great, let his dad do his thing, it's just sad. You see people like, keep going, keep going. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, like, you know, rooting for someone, but to be oblivious in rooting for someone is just crazy to me. It's crazy work, guys. Crazy.
Because you're LeBron James's son. So what does it do to that narrative now? Right? How does LeBron running up on Stephen A help the narrative? It doesn't. Because the narrative was, he's there because of you. He was drafted in the place he wasn't supposed to be because of you. Now, all of a sudden, we can't talk about him either? Now, imagine if LeVar Ball runs up on Stephen A. Imagine if T. Morant runs up on Stephen A. How classless we would say they are. How immature we would say they are. LeBron James is a father doing the same thing for a professional basketball player. And I get it.
This dude preaching, okay? He's preaching because I'm quite sure the popular thing at the time was to hate LeVar Ball. Everybody gave LeVar Ball so much trash. T. Morant, they gave him trash. Okay? LeBron James does something out of pocket. Oh, he was right. Yeah, the king spoke. Oh, I don't blame him. He's a black man standing up for his kid. Well, LeVar Ball did the same thing and he got railroaded. Can't even come back on ESPN because of Molly Quirms. Let me calm down. But you guys get the gist of it. Like, I think that most men out here should literally look themselves in the mirror, because if you are so weak for another man not to hold him accountable, then you are the type of man I can never, ever have a conversation with, because you are a weak person. You show favoritism and you're not fair across the board. You're not fair across the board. And I know you guys can be more fanned out, but don't be so fanned out that you're manned out. And what I mean by that is, like, don't lose your manhood. Don't lose your core values. Don't lose your code of ethics for someone who doesn't even know that you exist. Honestly.
I 100% get it, man. Sometimes somebody does something and it's on site. Stephen A. say, why you didn't call me? Mav got my number, right? He said, Rich got my number. Because LeBron James saw him, and LeBron James wanted to make that point.
Yep.
He wanted to show the world, he wanted to show Stephen A., and he probably wanted to show Bronny, bro, I got you. And I'll do it publicly so everybody sees it. The problem is this. You ain't run up on Skip. All the years he was talking about you. You ain't run up on everybody else all that time he was talking about you. And you're going to run up on everybody that says Bronny James didn't deserve to be drafted where he was drafted at. You're going to have to do a whole lot of damn fighting.
Case in point, every single video I've made about this situation, am I the only one who's thinking like Ryan Clark? Why don't you have smoke for Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Magic Johnson, all of the people on all of these networks, right? NBA Inside Crew. Like, why don't LeBron James run up on them? And when he just said Skip Bayless, out of the one person who has gone after you, your stats, your resume for 20 plus years, made millions off of your name, and Stephen A. Smith, at least he would have your back in some of those debates. He just would never put you in front of Michael Jordan. But you never ran up on Skip Bayless, LeBron James. Why would you do this to Stephen A. Smith? And it's crazy because I actually am siding with Stephen A. Smith, not even a huge Stephen A. Smith fan. Some of his content I like, some of it I think he's just trying to be accepted. He plays the middleman, which is ideally not my type of guy, not my character either. But I have to call it like I see it, LeBron James. You don't have the same smoke for all of the other analysts. You're not poking your chest out, because I believe if you were to run up on a Charles Barkley, a Kendrick Perkins, or someone in that nature, you guys would have been in the 5th, 6th row, okay? All right? Nobody's going to allow you to just talk to them crazy because of how you feel if you're not going to be that way across the board. And this is exactly why I enjoyed this clip of Ryan Clark And the simple thing that he pointed out is that LeBron James is not going to have the same energy for everybody else. So you guys let me know what y'all think about this. Drop those comments if you found any value to this video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thumbs up, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.